Hey everyone, welcome back to Vets for Vets in the Philippines. Once again tonight we're doing another interview with another young gentleman who is an active duty Marine Corps serving for us, and so got a unique story because him and David, the other gentleman that we interviewed last night, went to basic training and school together and stationed pretty close together. So come from the same hometown areas. But so we just ask you guys to like the video, push the subscribe button, share it, put it out there on Facebook, and let's get it out there to other veterans so that they can see it. So welcome to the channel, Trevor. Good to have you on, and I'll let you
Yeah,
just.
thanks for having me.
You bet. Looking forwards to it. I'll just let you kind of introduce yourself there, basically a little bit, and you can tell us who you are and where you're at right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Uh, hey guys, this is Lance Corporal Trevor Felber, United States Marine Corps. Stationed down at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, about an hour from Cherry Point. I know some of y'all Devil Dogs back at home are familiar with Camp Lejeune more than Cherry Point, so just kind of giving you a location. And for everyone else's sake, so down by Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Down by
So,
Jacksonville, yes, yes. Yeah,
yes, sir.
I've never been to Camp Lejeune or Cherry Point. I've had some good friends that was with me that was in the Navy, that was corpsmen, medics, naval medics, and they went to
Right.
Camp Lejeune with the Marine Corps, served with the Marine Corps, attached to the Marine Corps unit. So, uh,
Yeah.
but now, Trevor, tell us a little bit about where you kind of come from. Where's hometown and like in.
Yeah, definitely. So like home for me is McCook, Nebraska. It's um it's I want to say like 3 hours from Lincoln
Ah,
in the west corner towards like India. It's like right next to Indianola and Culbertson. It's like an hour from North Platte or like about 40 minutes from Holdridge for everyone else from down there in Nebraska who kind of know, and for those who don't know, lifted off a big city, so
yeah. Yeah, it's a
kind
pretty good sized city. McCook is
it's about 8,000 people,
8,000.
so
Yeah, still rural
you
farm
know,
country in Nebraska, but yet still a rather larger city. Beats my little
yeah,
hometown. Winona had 52 in it. So
yeah,
yeah. Well, good. Well, now you graduated from McCook then, and you went to basic
yeah,
training, enlisted in the Marine Corps. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Where you went to basic training at?
yeah. So I went off to boot camp in MCRD, San Diego, California. So shipped out at June 17th of 2019, and then graduated there September 13th, the following 3 months after when I started.
Uh huh. Yeah. What was your first impression when you got there to boot camp? I mean, yeah, you got a chance to see the
Yeah,
interview I did with David, and just give me what your thoughts was when you hit basic training the first few days there, getting into basic training.
yeah. When I got to boot camp, um, I was looking around, and I just kind of like at one point I like stopped and I'm like really here doing this. Did I make the right choice, or did I just throw my life away for 4 years until I can go get another job? You know,
Yeah,
you kind of question yourself if you made the right choice or not when
yeah,
you get there, but it definitely is worth the choice
yeah,
for
definitely.
any younger ones watching this right now wanting to join. It's definitely worth it. You get a lot of good benefits out of it, and it changes you into a better person
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure.
That's I've said that all along. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to college and getting an education. I believe in that as well. But uh,
Oh yeah,
you
definitely.
cannot get what you get by not going in the military. Marine Corps, Navy,
No,
Army,
the
Air Force.
military life is. definitely different. It's
Yeah,
definitely different.
yeah,
When me right now, like, I'm serving right now, but I just look around and I'm like, you know, I tried to talk to some of my friends, but they just don't get it
don't get it. Yeah,
like my boys in the military.
yeah,
My friend.
yeah. That's just it.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you
it's nice to
join.
have like that brother away from home.
Yeah, well, you became a member of a
What was that?
brotherhood that lasts forever. You're now a
Oh yeah.
member of the military. When you get out, you'll always be a veteran. It don't make no difference what age you are, what unit you served in, what branch you served in. You'll always run into somebody, and you're part of a brotherhood.
Yep.
You're part of the Marine Corps brotherhood now. You're a serviceman,
Oh yeah,
and then
definitely.
when you step out, you'll still be a part of a brotherhood that will carry with you the rest of your life. And I think it's really good to get that focus and then step out. You get a trade, you get a skill. I asked David that we interviewed last
Definitely.
night. Now you and him actually went to basic training together, and you were, I guess we called them in the Navy battle buddies or Army battle buddies, but rack mates, right? You were paired up together, right?
Yeah, so in the Marine Corps, in boot camp, like armies and like Navy, they call them battle buddies,
Mm-hmm.
but we call them rack mates because they're literally like sleeping right
Yep,
above our heads,
yep, yep.
on.
Have a set of bunk
So
beds and lockers right there. Yep.
yep, definitely. Boot camp was definitely different. It was fun and challenging, but um, at the same time, you know, there was times, when you got um, what people like to call like mercy and whatever. We
Mm-hmm.
got our downtime on Sundays, and then you know there were times where our drill instructors, had us sit down and like we had to have certain discussions, with
Mm-hmm.
all with like I think the Army calls it like sharp or whatever, but
Yes.
we call it like that. We call it sapper.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, sexual assault prevention,
Right.
um, resources and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we always had like downtime and like parts where drill instructors weren't screaming at us,
Right.
And on Sundays when we went to, you know, we could choose whether we wanted to go to church or not,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah. That was the same way
if you
when
went to church, you went to church, but if you didn't, then
they had something
you
else
went
for
to
you to
the
do.
squad day.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had something
Yep.
else for you.
Yeah. That's the way it was even when I went to the military back in 1980, 81. You could choose to go to
Yeah,
church. If you didn't go to church, you went to the, like you say, squad bay, or we called it the grinder,
they
out
had
on
to
the
do something.
grinder, and just something. There's something to keep you busy. But yeah,
Yeah,
and so they didn't give you they give you a little free time, but it wasn't good to have a lot of free time. The more you thought about things, the more you had an opportunity to miss home, those kinds of things. So keeping you busy, getting you
yeah,
trained.
definitely.
Yeah. What did you
Oh
think
yeah,
about going to?
yeah,
You
having
come from the Midwest. And I'm sure you hunt and fished a little bit. What did you think about going to the weapons range?
definitely the best part about boot camp, and it wasn't even really like the fact that we got to go to range. The best part about boot camp, I thought, was you know that third phase in boot camp where we move um, from MCRD out to Camp Pendleton,
Right.
because like they actually have a recruit depot where we do certain things, and then
Hmm.
the third phase, we move out to Camp Pendleton to do all of our field
Right.
exercises, learning all those things, and then,
Hmm.
ranges and all that.
Right.
Uh, and then once you get done with that, and the Crucible is in the third stage, but once you get done with that and you become a Marine, then you go from Camp Pendleton back to MCRD,
Right.
and you spend 2 weeks there, learning how to like the customs and courtesies of when you actually become a Marine,
Right.
and like, hey, this is how you're supposed to act in front of, other Marines. Like,
Hmm.
this is how you're supposed to act in public
Right.
as a Marine and as a human,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like basically getting you ready to go back into society as a changed person and as a Marine.
Right. Yeah. That's
You
to
know,
step forth and
not
represent
always
the
a
Marine
recruit.
Corps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I asked David last night, what do you think about the Crucible?
The Crucible was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, um, a lot of media sources, and you know, they like to exaggerate it and say how difficult it is.
Hmm.
I mean, which I'm not saying it wasn't difficult by any means. It was definitely challenging. It was definitely hard. There was a lot of times um, where you're just not even wanting to be there, but just being out there. Like the fun part is doing all the things that you trained for in
Right.
that one culminating event.
Right.
Like being an actual, it felt like you were being an actual, Marine doing
Right.
cool like field exercises and stuff.
Right.
And the best part about it was like you were with all your buddies that you created a bond with over those three
Exactly.
months or 13 weeks that you were there in boot camp. So you're just out there having fun in the field with your buddies, getting down and dirty, just
Yep.
doing your thing.
Yep. Putting to work what you learned, all
Yeah,
unit
putting the work.
cohesion. Absolutely. Working as not as individuals, but as the unit. Yeah.
As a team, yeah.
Yeah. And knowing, I mean, I'm sure, it's the same
And
for
knowing
different.
at the end of the day that, you have two choices. You can either, you know, go up that hill and become a Marine,
Right.
or you can quit
Yeah.
and then get dropped and just have to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
There,
Yeah. Well, and it's a time-honored tradition. That's,
yeah,
like I was talking with David last night, the Marine Corps has really held on to a lot of core traditions. Not that the other branches hasn't, but the Marines has really held on to some time-honored traditions, and and it shows forth in
it
becoming a Marine.
does.
You know, they're the old saying, "Once a Marine, always a Marine," right? And
Yeah, definitely.
so, but well, from when you done basic training there and you finished basic training, where did you take your MOS school, and what MOS did you take?
So, the part about MOS, like with MOSs and all that, you
Hmm.
actually choose your MOS like before you go into the Marine Corps with your recruiter.
Right.
Like you and him talk, you say, "Hey, I want this job." He's like, "Okay." You get that job, you sign a contract, and that's your job for the Marine Corps. You
Right.
have to go to boot camp, and then you go to Marine combat training.
Right.
Every Marine's a rifleman, so you have to learn uh, combat tactics.
Hmm.
And so that was a month long. Like I was in there for a week of holding before I actually got to go to MCT.
Hmm.
And me and David, we got picked up in the Kilo Company.
Uh-huh.
And then so MCT itself is a month long.
Hmm.
And then the week after, uh, I had to stay there in another holding company because with my MOS 3531 motor T operator,
Ah, okay.
um, yeah, we had to do like screenings to make sure that our depth perception was
Right.
still good and everything. Just
Right.
basic things. They don't want someone who doesn't have any depth perception to drive a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
important. So.
And when you put them night vision goggles on, man, it totally goes
Yeah,
different there.
it's a different ball game driving at night with the
Yeah.
night vision
Yeah.
with NVDs.
Yeah. It is. It's totally different, isn't it? And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you go to your motor T school at?
Um, that was down at Fort Leonard Wood. We were there
Ah, okay.
from yeah,
Fort
Fort Leonard
Lost in
Wood,
the woods.
Missouri. Yeah. I know a lot of y'all soldiers went there for basic training.
Years
Uh,
ago, it used to be a
what
basic training, and now it's a pretty good sized Army Reserve complex
uh,
as well. And then
they
they
still
have
have
MP and chemical.
yeah, they do have MPs and the Marine Corps calls it CBRN, but
Okay.
they actually still have recruit training down there for soldiers.
Ah.
We actually had to get briefed by by our sergeants and staff sergeants. They briefed us like, hey, if you get stopped by a drill sergeant,
Uh-huh.
just tell him like, hey, I'm a Marine. I'm not a recruit.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to disrespect you. I'm just trying to go about my day. And,
Yeah.
the drill sergeant would be pretty cool, and he'd be like, all right, carry on, Marine.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So definitely had it's actually recruit training down there still for Army soldiers.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cool to see that. And I mean, it was kind of comical to see that, watching them get smoked, because you're like, I remember when I had to do that.
It looks a little different and it feels a little different when you're on the other side of the fence observing, not being
Yeah,
smoked, right?
yeah, it's definitely different, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's funny to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that because you look back and you remember your time doing it and you go, wow, I'm glad
Oh
I'm through with
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. How long was your school, Trevor?
Um, I was there from about like November to February, so 3 months. We're only supposed to be there for like 38 training days, but with holidays and everything
Right. Yeah.
that came along with it, it just extended our time there.
Sure.
So,
What vehicles did you train on for Motor T?
um, so we have like the MK23 and the MK27, which is basically for all you service members that know, it's a 7-ton, and then they came out with a relatively new vehicle.
Okay.
It's called an LVSR.
Yeah, I've been reading up a little bit on that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of more of a what the semi they're trying to get like a semi look towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like a big truck like
Right.
7 tons.
Right.
They're actually these LVSRs, they're nuts. They can hold uh, uh, they can hold long trailers.
Mm-hmm.
They can carry like pretty much any vehicle you want with
Mm-hmm.
limitations. Like the weight has to match. So like whatever you're towing can't
Mm-hmm.
weigh more than the vehicle
Right.
pulling itself.
Pulling
So
itself.
like if you have an LVSR, or what we call them 18s,
Mm-hmm.
or 16s,
Right.
depending on what type of vehicle it is.
Right.
That'd just be too long to explain, but
Yeah.
you're pulling with an LVSR, and the stuff that you're pulling, it can't weigh more than the LVSR towing it. So
Towing it. Yeah.
I mean, but it can tow quite an amount of stuff. I know that second tanks went away, not completely disbanded, but they did. The commandant of the Marine Corps right now actually took away a lot of things, and second tanks they took away all the tanks because they're trying to get back to their naval traditions, like amphibious assault.
Right.
So
Right.
we took a big cut in second tanks.
Uh,
So
well, I noticed they're
um,
phasing out the Super Cobra and the Harrier. So,
yeah,
but they've been in the
definitely.
system for a long, long time. There's got to be newer and better improved stuff out there. Uh,
Maybe so. I'm not really sure. That's more
the
higher
aviation side.
echelon.
Yeah.
Like, that's above my pay grade, as we like to say.
Yeah. Above your pay grade. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Then from there,
Uh,
then where did you go to from Fort Leonard Wood for your first duty station there?
from Fort Leonard Wood, you go to your duty station where you are for the rest of your contract.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's Camp Lejeune where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So that could be changed. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's all
so,
up to me, honestly,
yeah.
whether I PCS or whether I reenlist.
Right.
Whatever I choose to do.
Right. Well, speaking of that, what have you thought a little bit about what you now? You're on a 4-year or 3-year contract?
I'm on a 4-year contract.
4-year
They don't
contract.
do 3 years anymore.
Oh, they don't do
They
3.
do
Okay.
5 years.
Ah.
They do 5 years now.
Oh, they do 5.
Four is the cutoff.
4 is
Yeah,
the cutoff,
so.
the lowest you can do. Oh, okay. So have you thought about? I know you're only about a year and a few months in now. Or have you thought about
Yeah, I'm
re-upping,
only
making a
about
career?
16 months in, but
Yeah.
I've made up a couple choices.
Hmm.
Um, the Marine Corps was fun. Don't get me wrong. The
Hmm.
Marine Corps still is fun. There's a lot of exciting new challenges every day, but
Right.
there's always that time where you have to move on
Hmm.
and go on to different things.
Right.
So after my time in the Marine Corps, um, I'm gonna see, what the Army has to offer me
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I like being a truck operator,
Hmm.
but there's some things with the Marine Corps that I necessarily don't sit well with or don't
Hmm.
agree with.
Right.
So I'd rather go over and see what
Hmm.
the Army has to
Yeah.
offer.
There's a
Um,
lot of us that did two branches of service,
yeah,
and then
I've
so
noticed
yeah, I
that.
started out in the Army and then
Looking
ended
at
up
the
doing
channel
Navy,
now.
and then ended up getting in the Army Reserve and the National Guard. I was in the Army Reserve. The last when 9/11 went down and got called back up again. So voluntarily
Yeah,
called up, I guess I
definitely.
might call it that way. But so yeah, well, the nice thing about it, you have education. One, you got some training,
Yeah, the
and you got some
education
good
benefits.
you got some good core benefits that come through from there, just some discipline training, and you got some educational. You have some college. Have you taken and done? Have you looked in or done any college on the post or anything like that?
Um, there is like you can do college
Hmm.
through the military. Like
Hmm.
there's online classes you can do,
Right.
and they have this thing called tuition assistance
Yep.
for active duty. So
Hmm.
I know a lot of people
Hmm.
just in my platoon or
Right.
unit alone that use TA and they do online courses.
Hmm.
So college in the military is definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the best part about it is that it's free. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
free
That's a
college.
nice
You
thing
can't
about
beat
it. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like so, for all the people that want to join or not join and you know mention college, like you really can't make an excuse because college is free in the military
Yep.
and you can do online classes
Yeah.
and the online classes or the schools like near the bases, they understand,
Hmm.
with your schedule.
Schedule.
They
Right. Right. They
they
work with the
they
military
try
schedule.
to be as flexible as they can with you.
Sure. Sure.
And so
And
college in the
plus,
military, it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard
mhm,
balancing college in the
college in the
military,
military.
but
Yes.
it's
It's doable.
easily doable. It's
Right.
easily doable.
Right. Now you also will have college benefits on when you come out, right? The
Yes,
right.
that's right.
Okay. Well, good. Good.
So, yep. Just living day by day.
Yeah.
Seeing how it is.
What do you think? The post they got. A lot of people don't understand the military base. They got a lot of things you can do in your off duty on the post. I'm sure down there, right? You guys still have bowling alleys and movie theaters and
Yeah, yeah,
gyms and
definitely.
all that stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, even on base, there's movie theaters.
Hmm.
And then there's gyms on base.
Right.
There's um, so there is things to do on base.
Right.
But a lot of people like to go off base
Sure.
because it expands, what you can do. Like,
Exactly.
let's say you like, drive to Wilmington, there might be more stuff there to do than
Hmm.
let's say Jacksonville
Well,
or
and you want to take
Swansboro.
advantage of your duty station and get out in the
Yeah, you
areas
want to take
around because
advantage of
you
going
you
out.
know it's like going to Hawaii and being stationed in Hawaii and spending the whole time on a base and never go off and see anything in Hawaii. I mean, it
Yeah,
don't make sense.
that's just a waste of time.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
You
why
you
wouldn't
got a
you?
trip there, you got room and board, so why not get out there and see the world because we all came from
Yeah, my
I
answer
came
is,
from Kansas as well years ago and so it was a great opportunity to get out there and see the world. Germany
oh yeah,
and Central America and South America and all over in Hawaii and Japan and Hong Kong and Guam and those kinds of things. So something I would have never been able to afford to do if I hadn't been in the military.
yeah, and
I still
a lot of people like my age, that are young and like fresh out of high school.
have.
Some of them want to travel the world.
Yeah.
Um, but I've I've been all around the United States.
Yeah.
Now that like the Marine Corps has showed me so much of the states that I didn't even know. And come here in January,
Uh-huh.
we're supposed to be getting deployed out to Norway for 6 months to do
Wow.
cold weather
Man,
training.
that that
So
that'll be an
I mean,
outstanding deployment.
when the Marine Corps says that you get to when the Marine Corps says that you get to see the world with them and that you do get to travel,
Yeah.
um, as one of their benefits, the Marine Corps doesn't lie,
Yeah. Yeah. They tell you
or at
straight. It's
least they,
where it's at,
yeah,
what you're gonna do. Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. If you want to travel the world, the Marine Corps has the world to offer.
Yeah. Well, when you get back from that trip in Norway, we'll have to get on again, and you're gonna have to tell me all
Oh
about
yeah,
Norway because that sounds
yeah,
exciting to do a
definitely
deployment to
will.
Norway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's very
a
exciting.
lot of my corporals and um, sergeants that went to Norway the previous year
Uh-huh.
or the last time that they went, they're really excited to go back
Go
there
back
again.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Um,
there's something I didn't get a chance to ask David last night. We had a little technical difficulty, but internet
right.
bandwidth and like. But I
Yeah.
remember when I went to basic training, I got paid 401 a month as an E1, or as an
Yeah, it's
E1
not
E2.
the
How is it nowadays for now? You're a
the
Lance
pay's
Corporal,
not
so
great.
you're an E4, right?
An E3.
E3, Lance Corporal. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh, Corporal will be E4,
E4,
and then Sergeant
Sergeant,
is
right?
E5.
Okay.
And corporals and sergeants are both NCOs,
NCO. Yep.
um, and then it changes from NCO to staff non-commissioned officer, which is
Yes.
staff sergeant, all the way down to sergeant major of
Right.
the Marine Corps.
Exactly.
And then you have your junior Marines, which is private through what
Uh-huh.
I am right now, Lance Corporal,
Uh-huh.
and then it changes over to NCOs.
NCO. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you don't mind me asking, what do you make as a Lance Corporal?
Not much. I make like 720
720?
a
Yeah.
paycheck.
Yeah. But
So that's every 2 weeks.
yeah,
That's like 1440 a month.
1440 a month. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
we made
not
401 a
much.
month as an E1 back in 1980.
Yeah, you got paid at boot camp. We got paid like 500 as
Yeah.
a private.
Yeah, as a private. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have the PX, the commissary, all the base privileges.
Oh yeah.
Your health insurance is paid for. You have a lot of
A lot of
privileges.
bills are paid for, which is what people don't realize.
Right. Right.
Um, like yes, our bills are paid for, but even though our bills are paid for, we don't get paid like
Well,
what
yeah,
we should.
no, not what you should. And
No.
we would all argue the same thing. We
Oh
don't
yeah.
get paid for the deal. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I remember
Yeah, they take about.
a couple old
I
guys
think.
back in the VFW when I came home from my AIT or MOSQ school,
Hmm.
and back in
Yeah, your
'81.
AIT is like
And
our MLS.
yes, and I got home and I was at the local VFW post, and these guys are Vietnam, Korea, and World War II veterans, right? And they're all
Hmm.
going, "Man, you made 401 a month. I got $89," and and it's just so every
Right.
one of us has all got go, "Wow, you guys are getting paid a lot more than we used to get paid," So over the years, but yeah,
Yeah.
so well, it's good,
Yeah,
man.
definitely the pay is different, but you know, well, I saw a picture on Facebook or whatever. It says like the chow hall isn't worth $371. They take that out of your paycheck. You don't even see that.
Yeah,
So they do
yeah,
take like we do pay for our food. It's
right,
not free food.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not free housing.
yeah.
They take it out of our paychecks. We just don't see it.
Just don't see it. It don't hurt so bad because you don't see it. Yeah, yeah. You get
Yeah.
rations in
It
kind,
doesn't hurt
really.
as bad because we don't see it. But
Yeah,
like we pay for room and board. We pay for our food.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
we pay for a lot of things that we don't even know
All
or
right.
we don't even think about. We don't get to see that on our paycheck.
On the
All we
paycheck.
see is, for all we see is 720 on your Navy Fed account. You're like,
Yep.
awesome, I got paid the day.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and 30 days leave.
And
Don't
with the
forget the 30
remaining
days
bills that you
vacation.
have, you're just trying to balance out that paycheck, see where
Yeah,
you stand.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I've been with Navy Federal Credit Union for 30 years. It's the best
Um,
credit union
I
out there,
think
man. I can use my
yeah,
Navy Federal Credit Union card anywhere in the world.
I take Navy Fed over anything.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
so easy to work with.
yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. You're young. You're in the Marine Corps. What do you
Yup.
what do you have for the younger guys out there to that are like you say back home? They're getting ready to graduate school. And I'll just give you some scenario. They're ready to graduate school, but they don't know what they want to do in college. They don't know what they want to do in life. What do you recommend for
Um, what do I recommend? I recommend that they they weigh all their options.
them?
They don't just look at the Marine Corps. They don't just look at the Army.
Right,
Um, they don't just look at this college or that college. Try
right.
to figure out, like, obviously you don't know what you want to do,
Hmm.
so you're trying to figure out that one thing to do. But try to figure out how many options you have instead of looking like at it as, oh, what is this one thing I'm gonna
Right,
do?
right,
Like, look at it as if like, hey, I have HVAC, I have lineman school, you know,
right,
I have all these options. I just need to pick what I want to do.
right,
You know, just
right,
weigh all your options. School, sometimes school isn't for everyone. Sometimes school is for
right.
people. The military life it is for some people. There's people who do 20 years.
Yep.
There's people who do, their 4-year contract and out.
Now,
Sometimes the military isn't for people.
right, right,
You just gotta find what's best for you.
right.
I'm not really recommending anything.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just telling people, the younger
Right.
generation that I'm in,
Hmm.
just explore all your options.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what I got. That's what I
Well, I think
recommend.
that's good and
Explore your
sound
options.
advice. And weigh out your options. You have options. That's the thing that I think a lot of us, even my age when I was in days, I didn't know all the options I had, but I had some options, and I weighed out what the best options I thought was for me at the time, and it turned
Yeah, and
out
they
to
didn't
be.
have the resources back then like they do today.
Yeah,
So, you know,
absolutely. Yeah, college
another
was out
another
of
thing I want to say is like, use all the resources that you have
exactly.
because like take advantage of what you have right now
Yeah,
because you might not have it at a later time.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
so just like appreciate what you have and weigh all your options instead of like just trying to narrow it down to like, oh, I have to do this when I get out of high school. You don't
yeah,
have to do one thing.
yeah,
There's tons of options.
yeah. Well, absolutely.
So
Well, hey, uh, I'm going to ask you a question. That
yeah.
you're in the motor pool. Uh,
Mhm.
Talk to your motor T sergeant and get permission, of course. But ask him if you could uh, get on one day and just walk down the motor pool line and show some of the military vehicles that you can show. Go through the appropriate channels if you have to go through public affairs or whatever. But see if it'd be possible you could, you know, you and your motor T sergeant or anybody, just yourself to show some of the vehicles that are there that you can show. That's what I've been
Yeah,
doing going around
definitely.
here. There's a lot of old military vehicles here, so that's what I've been doing. So it'd be kind
Yeah.
of cool for some of the guys to get to see some of the new stuff if they can. Even just from the outside, whatever would be authorized. Because I know there's security aspects and sec nav and
Yeah,
stuff like
there's a
that. You
lot
have
of
to.
so like all of our trucks, all of our gear, everything in the military is serialized.
Yep.
So like there if I did show you guys a video, there'd have to be a lot of editing, a
Yeah.
lot of talking with chain of command and things.
Oh well,
But
then yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I understand
after
it.
the interview there's probably going to be a link below on like images of the trucks, just from Google and things like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
you can look it up.
Yeah.
We'll
Why don't
definitely put a
Yeah, we'll
link
do
down
that. Yeah.
below,
Yeah. We'll look
let
up
people
some of
see
them.
images of the trucks
Sure.
and all that,
Yeah.
and they actually have speaking of that, they actually have a new version of the legendary Humvee. It's called a JLTV,
Uh huh.
um, a joint lightweight um, tactical vehicle.
Ah.
It's basically the better version of a Humvee.
Uh huh.
It it's really advanced. You know, they have it on a computer system, and there's just a ton of information about. Like, there's just so much stuff. It'd
Yeah.
be hard explaining it to you in just like one interview.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know.
yeah. I'm sure. Now, have you got those in your unit now, or are they in the
Yes, we
pipeline?
do actually.
Oh,
We
wow.
do have
Fantastic.
JLTVs.
Wow.
They're really cool.
I've seen
Um,
just a little
a
bit
lot
of
of
them
my
on the internet.
friends.
That's about,
Yeah, they're different.
yeah,
They're a whole different ball game.
yeah, I'm sure.
They've came really advanced with all the technology that we have in the
Sure.
military today. It's
Well,
just
yeah, yeah. I was in
crazy.
when the when the Humvee started coming in pretty strong. It was coming down to the units. Uh,
Yeah,
a lot of our units, we still run a lot of the older Chevy Blazers and different things at the time, and then we started getting Humvees. Then we went from the Deuce and a Half to the LMTV and the FMTV. So things changed. Went and got the
yeah,
915s. Semi trucks for transportation. On our motor pools and stuff. So we had a long haul unit in our
yeah.
motor
Definitely a
pool.
lot
So,
of changes have probably been
yeah.
made since
Oh yeah.
all the
Well,
vets have been around.
MRATs and all that stuff. I mean, I
MRAPs,
barely
yeah,
got to see just them
MRAPs,
from a
yeah.
distance.
Just
Being
scratching the
deployed.
surface, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Well, Trevor, I appreciate you taking the time to get with us. It's exciting, man. It's good to
Oh
have you
yeah,
guys on,
anytime,
and I thank
anytime.
you for your service and everything you've done, and
Thank
stay in
you.
touch with us. You definitely want to do something with you again. You get when you get over overseas and
Back
do your
to
deployment.
Norway. Yeah, that'd be fun.
You
We'll
absolutely,
have to get an interview after that. So,
yeah, yeah.
thanks for having me.
You bet.
I
Well, I
really
salute you,
appreciate it.
and you take care.
All right,
We
simplify.
you bet. Simplify, and
Cool.
just take care. Be safe, and
Yep.
we'll catch you again, and stay in contact with me. And we got Messenger and Facebook,
Yeah.
so stay in contact with me.
Oh
And
yeah,
and
definitely.
guys, thank you for joining us this afternoon and this evening with Lance Corporal here, and so it's been great to have him on. You guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video. Put it out there. Get it on your Facebooks, and make Travis famous. Share what he's
All
doing.
right. Have
He's
a good
committed.
day.
These guys are committed to doing something that most people don't do, and they're out there serving their country
Definitely.
for all of us, not just themselves. They're serving for us, and so we appreciate it. Trevor, thank you again,
Yep.
and
Appreciate you for having me.
you bet. I look forward to
Have a
having you
good
on
day,
again.
sir.
You bet. You too, Trevor.
Yep. Look forward to
You
it.
bet.
Bye.
Bye.